Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first interactive web television. It is your very own platform where you can engage with us as we discuss different issues. You can join us live on the conversation just by clicking a participation request. You can also send in your posts, your audio comments and your video comments as we speak, and of course your tweets. Our handle is @IndiaPostLive and #IndiaPostLive. So it is a platform for all of us to communicate with each other across the world, and this conversation as we speak is going live. Now today is August 12th and today is International Youth Day. On India Post Live we are celebrating India's youth. Let me also tell you that by 2020, India is set to become the world's youngest nation, which means that there will be the most number of people below the age of 35 in India by 2020. Now, that can actually be a very good thing if all the youth of our country are mentally healthy, physically healthy, educated, skilled, and have something to contribute to society. Being young, being youthful is a blessing. Of course, it is all in the mind, they say, but youth, talks of health, youth talks of dreams, aspirations, and in fact, let me play some quotes for you, as the people who have talked about youth. This world demands the qualities of youth, not a time of life, but a state of mind, a temper of the will, a quality of imagination, a predominance of courage over timidity, of the appetite for adventure over the life of ease. By Mr. Robert Kennedy. A wonderful quote on youth. Kafka has said, youth is happy because it has the capacity to see beauty. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. And finally, we have the evergreen Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren has this to say about youth. There is a fountain of youth. It is your mind, your talents, the creativity you bring to your life and the lives of people you love. When you learn to tap the source, you will truly have defeated age. So definitely youth is something to be celebrated. Being young is of course the best part. Even people who are 3-4 years older look back at the juniors at work, in college, and say, oh, you're young, there's so much you can do, because youth is all about aspiration, youth is all about dreaming, youth is all about choices. And being young, when you are young, is when you make choices that affect your life in the future. So what exactly are our Indian youth aspiring for? India Post Live went out to the streets of the capital and we asked young people what they aspire for themselves and for their country as youth.
As a youth, what is your aspiration?
I don't have any aspiration.
Towards country and society. To be more responsible towards our society and all. Can I take a break?
Improve the society a little bit,
More towards the sports, to our national sport, towards football, not towards cricket.
I think this country needs much bigger platform, a better platform for Indian musicians.
Don't want any politics or any kind of drama in our profession, as simple as that.
I want to become a great dancer, like Ashley.
My career.
Since I'm a medical student and aspire to become a great doctor one day, help people.
मैं उसके लिए काम करना चाहता हूँ, पूरे देश के लिए और मेरे देश के लिए सेवा करना चाहता हूँ. एक अच्छा मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर बनना, बस मशीनों के लिए काम करना.
All right, so very many young people out there who are talking of football and not cricket, a bigger platform for musicians, and of course their own personal aspirations of mechanical engineering and medicine and all of that. Great. So now it is also important, as I was just talking about, to skill the youth, develop skill sets in them so they can not only, fulfill their own aspirations but also take the country forward. And this is when we are going to talk about this corporation called NSDC. This is the National Skill Development Corporation. It was set up in 2008 as a non-profit organization, and I have two young people with me, two members of India's youth who have acquired skill sets from NSDC. Now, the national policy, let me give you some gyan before that. The national policy on skill development aims to skill 150 million people by 2022. And it has set up a target to impart skill training to 3.3 million youths this year, 2014 and 15. So what NSDC has done is it has forged partnerships with stakeholders, including state governments, industry bodies, and imparting various, vocational training programs. Let me get these people themselves to talk about how they have been skilled, how they have acquired skills, and how they plan to take the country forward. I have with me Kajal and Govind. Thank you so much for joining the conversation on India Post Live. Thank you so much. Kajal, मैं पहले आपसे शुरू करूँगी. Ladies first. Okay. NSDC के साथ आप कैसे जुड़ी और किस तरह के स्किल सेट्स आपको वहाँ पे मिले?
मैं NSDC के साथ एक अपनी फ्रेंड के थ्रू जुड़ी, क्योंकि वो पहले NSDC से जुड़ी हुई थी. NSDC का एक पार्ट है NIIT युवा ज्योति, वो उसमें कोर्स कर रही थी. तो उसने मुझे बताया कि वहाँ की ट्रेनिंग काफ़ी यूनिक है. मैं उससे इन्फ्लुएंस हुई काफ़ी. बताया कि ट्रेनिंग के तरीके काफ़ी अच्छे हैं, जिससे बच्चों को आगे स्किल्स मतलब उनकी डेवलप होती है और उन्हें जॉब भी प्रोवाइड कराई जाती है. मेरा ड्रीम था कि मैं फैशन डिज़ाइनर बनूँ, पर उसके लिए मुझे एक अच्छी ट्रेनिंग और एक अच्छी जॉब की ज़रूरत थी, जो मैं आगे चाहती थी कि पेरेंट्स का पैसा ना लगाकर अपने पैसे से अपने ड्रीम को कंप्लीट करूँ. सो मैंने रजिस्टर किया कोर्स के लिए. देन मेरे अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल, बॉडी लैंग्वेज, पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट, हाउ टू कम्युनिकेट अदर पर्सन, हाउ टू इंटरेक्ट विद द कस्टमर, ये सब में मुझे लगा कि मेरे में इम्प्रूवमेंट आई है.
तो आप अभी कहाँ काम करती हैं?
अभी मैं वेस्ट साइड से हूँ.
वेस्ट साइड में काम करती हैं आप. तो आपको लगता है कि ये जो आपको जॉब मिली है, इट हैज़ ओनली हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ NSDC की वजह से आपको ये जॉब मिली है?
यस.
कहाँ तक पढ़ी हैं आप? क्या एजुकेशन?
अभी मैं ग्रेजुएशन कर रही हूँ. सेकेंड ईयर के एग्ज़ाम दिए मैंने कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस से.
अच्छा.
देन अब फाइनल ईयर का रिजल्ट आया तो फाइनल ईयर में आई हूँ.
तो आप NSDC में कितने साल की ट्रेनिंग मिली आपको?
मैंने 6 मंथ्स की ट्रेनिंग एक कोर्स में ली थी डेटा एंट्री की. देन रिटेल की 1 मंथ की जो फर्स्ट टाइम लॉन्च हुआ था इंडिया में, उसमें से स्टार्स में से एक मैं थी जो उसमें कोर्स किया था.
अच्छा.
यस.
ओके. और आपके पेरेंट्स क्या करते हैं? वो उन्होंने आपको इनकरेज किया ये करने के लिए?
मेरे पेरेंट्स ने फुल इनकरेज किया है. जो मतलब हमारे वहाँ का एनवायरनमेंट है, हमारे जो एरिया का है, उन्होंने इंकरेज ना करके मेरे फैमिली ने बहुत इंकरेज किया मुझे. मेरे फादर जो हैं सदर बाज़ार में एक स्टॉल है छोटी सी, उस पर उनकी छोटी सी स्टॉल है, वहाँ जॉब करते हैं. तो मैंने सोचा कि अपने फादर की थोड़ी सी हेल्प कर दूँ.
वेरी नाइस, सो स्वीट. गोविंद, अब आपकी कहानी बताइए.
मैंने NSDC से जुड़ा था 2012 में, जहाँ पे मैं 12th पास आउट करने के बाद से मुझे आगे जॉब करनी थी. एक्चुअली पढ़ाई के साथ साथ मुझे जॉब करनी थी, जो कि मेरे लिए थोड़ी सी मुश्किल थी मिलनी. तो मुझे भी अपने टीचर के सहारे से पता चला. तो जो एम्पावर प्रगति और NSDC मिलकर जो वोकेशनल कोर्सेज कराए जा रहे थे, वहाँ पे मैंने जाके पूरा अपना कोर्स के बारे में जानकारी लिया. और मुझे वहाँ पे जो ये जानकारी जो प्राप्त हुई, वहाँ पे मैंने रिटेल का कोर्स किया, जहाँ पे साथ साथ लाइफ स्किल और बेसिक कंप्यूटर के कोर्स कराया जाता है, जिसमें से मैं वहाँ पे रिटेल के लिए ना जाके मैं लाइफ स्किल एंड कंप्यूटर के लिए गया, क्योंकि मुझे रिटेल लाइन में जाना नहीं था, मुझे सोशल सेक्टर में जाना था. तो जो मेरे लिए लाइफ स्किल बेहद महत्वपूर्ण था, जहाँ पे मुझे पर्सनल ग्रूमिंग के बारे में, पब्लिक मीटिंग्स, मैपिंग, इन सब के बारे में मुझे पूरी जानकारी मिली.
अभी आप क्या करते हैं?
अभी मैं प्रोजेक्ट असिस्टेंट हूँ NSDC स्टार प्रोजेक्ट दिल्ली का.
अच्छा, आपने वहीं पे
यस, एम्पावर प्रगति में. जैसे ही 2 महीने के कोर्स कंप्लीट हुआ, तो मुझे एम्पावर प्रगति से एज ए कम्युनिटी काउंसलर पोस्ट पे मुझे हायर किया गया. तो जहाँ पे मैं कम्युनिटी में जाके अपने जैसे यूथ को जो 12th पास आउट करने के बाद बैठे हुए हैं, उनको मुझे बताने में खुशी होती थी कि आप इस कोर्स को करिए, और जो आप बैठे हुए हो उसको आप आगे बढ़ाइए, और जो आप फैमिली को सपोर्ट कीजिए पैसे कमा के. वो मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छा था कि मैंने कोर्स के दौरान सीखा. और मेरे लिए वो लाइफ में था कि जो मैंने पर्सनली मीटिंग, जो कोई पब्लिक मीटिंग्स वगैरह थी, वो मैंने जाके वहाँ पे की, पब्लिक मीटिंग की. मैं पेरेंट्स को भी समझाया कि आप अपने पेरेंट्स को भी भेजिए, जो कि मेरे लिए महत्वपूर्ण था. और मैं आज उसकी वजह से एज ए प्रोजेक्ट असिस्टेंट हूँ.
आप अपने घर में भी हेल्प कर पाते हैं?
यस मैम. मैं तो बहुत खुश हूँ कि मैं अपनी सैलरी से घर में भी हेल्प कर पाता हूँ, छोटे भाई की पढ़ाई में भी हेल्प करता हूँ, सिस्टर को भी हेल्प करता रहता हूँ. बहुत खुश हूँ मैं.
तो क्या लगता है आपको, व्हेन यू मीट ऑल दीज अदर पीपल जिनको मतलब क्लास 12 पास है लेकिन उनके पास नौकरी नहीं है, ये खतरा तो रहता ही है ना कि दे आर स्ट्रे हो सकते हैं, वो भटक सकते हैं, गलत रास्ते पे जा सकते हैं, ड्रग्स हो गया, क्राइम हो गया, तो इन चीज़ों का आप किस तरह से काउंसलिंग करते हैं?
ऐसे काउंसलिंग करता हूँ जैसे कॉमर्स से पास आउट हुए हैं, तो मैं उनको, जैसे हमारी कंपनी में नहीं पढ़ाया जा रहा है, जैसे बैंकिंग का जो भी एनएसडीसी स्टार स्कीम है, इसमें स्टार स्कीम में 1 मंथ के कोर्स का ड्यूरेशन वही बताया जा रहा है जो सेक्टर पे ध्यान दिया जा रहा है कि जो कोर्स के लिए आगे चल के काम आए। तो मैं उनको इसके लिए काउंसलिंग करता हूँ कि आप अगर बैंकिंग वगैरह में जाना चाहते हैं, आप उस पर जाइए, जो आप लाइफ बेहतर बताइए, आपको बैठने से अच्छा है कि आप इस सेक्टर में जाके अपना ट्रेड चूज़ कीजिए और उसमें अपना लाइफ आगे बढ़ाइए, और फ्यूचर में आप जो बैठे हुए हो वो बैठिए मत, और अच्छी बेहतर अपनी लाइफ बनाइए।
What about you, काजल? आपके कम्युनिटी में ऐसी लड़कियां हैं जिनको शायद घर से उनको बाहर न भेजा जाता हो, उनको नौकरी करने न दिया जाता हो, पढ़ाई करने न दिया जाता हो, क्या ऐसे केसेस आपके आसपास हैं कम्युनिटी में?
हाँ जी, जहाँ मैं रहती हूँ वहीं है। एक्चुअली उनके फादर की डेथ हुई, देन उनकी स्टडी उनके भाइयों ने नहीं करने दी। उन्होंने NIT भी ज्वाइन किया, बट ज्वाइन करने के बाद उनके जॉब भी प्रोवाइड करी गई, पर उनके फैमिली ने नहीं करवाई। मेरे फैमिली ने मुझे बहुत इंकरेज किया, देन मैं आज यहाँ पर हूँ। और मैं ये सोचती हूँ, अगर जो आज की जनरेशन है वो अगर अपने करियर को बिल्कुल सही तरीके से लें और इधर उधर ना भटक कर डायरेक्शन एक ही ले, जो कि NSDC ने स्किल्स जो हर एरिया में खोली हुई हैं वहाँ जाएँ। 12th के बाद 10th के बाद बहुत से स्कोप है जो आप अपने करियर को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं, और मतलब ऐसे ना हो कि अनएम्प्लॉयड रहकर एम्प्लॉयड रहें।
एब्सोल्युटली। तो क्या आपको ट्रैवलिंग करना पड़ता है गोविंद?
नहीं, यस, ट्रैवलिंग करना पड़ता है, जैसे ज़्यादा नहीं ट्रैवलिंग करना पड़ता है। एक्चुअली जो भी ट्रैवलिंग पड़ता है, अगर फील्ड में काम करता हूँ तो मैं तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कम्युनिटी में जाता हूँ, जहाँ पे बहुत से ऐसे कैंडिडेट्स मिले जो इस सुविधा का लाभ उठा पाए, क्योंकि ये फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट है। इसके लिए कोई कोर्स फी नहीं पे करना है। NSDC जो और एम्पावर प्रगति जो कोर्सेज चलाती हैं पार्टनर से मैच करके, ये सब फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट रहती है, जिसमें जो ट्रेड वो चूज़ करेंगे उसमें उनको तो पे करना नहीं पड़ता है फ़ी। तो उनके लिए ये सही रहता है कि वो अपने ट्रेड चूज़ करके आगे लाइफ बनाए।
तो आगे आप अभी कम्युनिटी में मदद कर रहे हैं, आप लोगों की काउंसलिंग कर रहे हैं, तो इसके आगे 5 साल बाद आप अपने आप को कहाँ देखते हैं?
मैं एज ए सोशल वर्कर।
एज ए सोशल वर्कर?
यस मैम।
ओके, अभी आप बताइए कि आज इंटरनेशनल यूथ डे है। अभी 15 अगस्त को हमें आज़ादी मिली थी 1947 में। तो आज का जो यूथ है उनके लिए आपका क्या मैसेज होगा? क्योंकि आप याद रखिए कि UN ने इस साल का मैसेज जो थीम रखा है इंटरनेशनल यूथ डे का, वो है यूथ एंड मेंटल हेल्थ। क्योंकि मेंटल हेल्थ आजकल इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि इतना फ्रस्ट्रेशन है, नौकरी ना मिलना या गर्लफ्रेंड प्यार करते हैं लेकिन दे आर नॉट बीइंग एबल टू मैरी, इस तरह से फ्रस्ट्रेशन, सुइसाइड, क्राइम, हेट क्राइम, देख रहे हैं हम, है ना? तो आपको व्हाट इज योर मैसेज फॉर टुडेज यूथ?
मैम, आज ये मैसेज हम अपने देश के जो यूथ है उसको देना चाहता हूँ कि जो भी अगर 12th पास आउट कर लिए हैं वो अपना एक ट्रेड चूज करे, भटके ना ट्रेड से।
पहले क्लास 12 भी पास करें।
हाँ, नहीं, कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि हायर एजुकेटेड हो, क्योंकि ये NSDC का जो कोर्स है वो 10th और 12th के बेसिस पे जो कोर्स कराई जाती है इसके लिए है, और वो ट्रेड चूज करके अपना और लाइफ आगे बढ़ाए और भटके ना, और इधर उधर जैसे डिफरेंट कोर्स करने के बावजूद भी वो बैठे हुए हैं।
All right.
तो वो एक ट्रेड अपना चूज करे और उस ट्रेड में आगे बढ़े।
Great. I am very happy to say that we in fact have the CEO of NSDC, Mr. Dilip Chenoy. He is joining us online through Skype. Mr. Chenoy, thank you so much for joining India Post Live.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you very clearly, sir. Thank you. And I would like to congratulate you on this endeavor. Because I have 2 of your students with me, Kajal and Govind, and they have told us how their lives changed after class 12 when they joined NSDC and they acquired skills, and today they are placed, they are earning, they're also able to help their families. So sir, tell us a little bit about how you came up with this concept of NSDC.
It was a few years ago in 2007 and 8 when industry kind of said that they could not and they could not even hire people who are coming out of the existing institutions. So at that point of time, after a bit of discussion with the various ministries, it was agreed that to set up a public-private partnership that would enable industry to set curriculum, to set courses, to fund institutions that could train people according to the standards set by industry. So therefore, that actually led to the public-private partnership that was the National Skill Development Corporation. It was announced in the 2008 budget. Three industry, the main chambers, that is ASSOCHAM, CII, and FICCI, and 7 sectoral organizations covering gems and jewelry, textiles, leather, retail, automotive, IT and ITES, and construction, actually contributed to the forming the corpus. And then we did a study at that point of time looking at the various skill development program and the aspirations of the youth. And what we understood at that point of time, that everybody tended to go and study for a degree because the belief was that it was only a degree that could get them a job. And when we introduced the industry-linked training programs where a person, if he's dropped out of school or passed out of 12th, could join a training program, and after which he would be certified, and the certificate would be recognized by industry. And we kind of kept a demand-led model and moved it from a supply side. So earlier, people used to join a course. After the course was over, people used to try and place them in companies. And now the model became that you went to companies, identified the jobs that were available, determined what standards that they wanted people to be trained to. You partnered with training organizations, trained the youth according to the standards of industry, and got them placed. So it was a totally different approach.
Right. Right. So can I very quickly ask you a yes or no question? How attainable is your target of 150 million youth to be skilled by the year 2022?
So we are pretty confident of achieving that target. For the last 4 years, we have exceeded and achieved the targets that were set to us by initially the Prime Minister's Council and then the Skill Development Agency. And this year, our target is to do 33 lakhs, 3.3 million. Next year, hopefully, we'll target 6.6 million, and we'll scale up. And we are fairly confident to achieve the target that we are looking at.
So any particular skill sector that you're focusing on for the youth today?
See, there are 20 high growth sectors that have been identified by the government for NSDC to focus on. And if you take the STAR scheme, which was the Standards Testing Assessment and Monetary Reward scheme over the last year, where we had 12 to 13 lakhs, nearly 14 lakh students enrolled, the top 5 sectors where people were interested in were banking and financial services, IT, telecom, healthcare, and automotive. And a lot of people, and then in different other towns, it led to security and agriculture. So that is the demand from the market, because currently those were the sectors that were growing at. But going forward, we would like to focus a little more on the manufacturing segments and others that will also tie in with the economic development that we as a country are trying to do.
Mr. Dilip Chinoy, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us that information in brief time. As you know, today is International Youth Day. On India Post Live, we are celebrating Indian youth, and your contribution and what you've done. I have 2 young people with me who have told us what you've done for them. Congratulations to you. Keep up with the good work, and thank you so much for joining the conversation. Thanks so much, sir.
Thank you, and I want to thank the 2 young boys and the parents for enabling us to help them along their career path.
Thank you so much. Kajal and Govind, आपको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आप हमारे शो में आए और आपने हमसे बात की. Thank you so much. And now, well, it is time. You just heard that, a big challenge for India's youth definitely is skilling them so that they don't remain unemployed and they don't go astray. And, their mental health, so to speak, is intact. Also, now we, like I said, we went to the streets and we asked people who their youth icon is. In my next segment, we will be bringing young politicians, young leaders to the show. But before that, we got young people to say who their youth icon is. Take a look.
Hrithik Roshan, first of all, he's a very good actor. And then he's a very good father, he's a very good son. So I guess everyone want to be like him,
Yuvraj Singh is a youth icon.
Virat Kohli is the India's youth icon.
Narendra Modi should be the youth icon for this India.
Sushil Kumar, Olympian.
Salman Khan,
Mr. Narendra Modi, because he is very responsible and Very helpful personality. Amitabh Bachchan.
Youth icon is Arvind Kejriwal because he's not a political leader, he's a social worker.
Sachin Tendulkar is our youth icon because he has this personality also, and he has put his attitude on in our sports society.
All right, how can we talk about youth without talking about youth politics? The politics of youth, the student politics, all of us have been affiliated to some youth political group or the other. And you know, it's only the youth politicians, many of the youth politicians who move on to become big leaders, parliamentarians, and of course statesmen who build our country's policies. In fact, I would like to mention some of them who started out as youth politicians. We will take a look at them. They are coming up on your screens in a little while. And then, of course, we will have some student politicians to talk about what they feel about India's youth, where they see how they plan to take the country forward and take the youth forward along with them. All right, so let's take a look at that infographic, or maybe we will play them for you later while we are discussing. I have with me in the studio Kanika Shekhawat. Kanika Shekhawat is with the ABVP, right? Yeah. Welcome to the conversation, and congratulations on International Youth Day today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us, what what inspired you to become a young leader?
Actually, from the very beginning, like I had this zeal, or you can say, the ideology or something. I always thought Swami Vivekanand as my idol. So he used to, if you read about him, he'll tell you, the youth should do something, speak for himself. So that's how I made him my idol. Then later on, how I heard and I realized ABVP works on the footsteps of Swami Vivekanand. So later on I realized this is the platform where I can come up, where I can speak for the youth, where I can take people along with me, where I can see the way I can rebuild a nation. That's what ABVP also talks about.
How many years have you been in student politics?
3 years now. This is my 4th year.
What has your experience been like? What are the issues? Let's talk of specifics. What are the basic issues that you have brought out?
See, recently, the previous year, we had put up an agenda relating FYUP, the 4-year undergraduate program. So a lot of students, they had come up. They were like, this is really taking a lot of time, something is not correct. I have taken humanities, but I have to study science, I have to study math. That
foundation course.
Yeah, exactly. So, I realized it wouldn't have mattered to me. I am done with my graduation, I'm done with my semester. But there again, as I said, speaking up for the youth, we had to be there for those students. And we did stand there. We did go to the Prime Minister. We did speak about, about it to the HRD Minister. And here, I really feel proud. I was standing there in those protests. I faced those water cannons. I faced those lathi charges, and I'm still sitting here. And it feels so proud to say that FYUP has scrapped. It has rolled back.
And how relevant do you feel student politics are? In fact, we'll try and show you, like I was just talking about, some young student politicians who went on to become leaders.
Exactly.
But how relevant do you think politics are for the youth today?
It definitely is very relevant because, as it is said that the children or the youth, they are the future of tomorrow. It's a very common saying. But
in fact, one of them, Kanika, Sushma Swaraj, she began her political career like you, ABVP, and of course, she is somebody who we know. She was Union Minister for Health. You remember when the SARS breakout happened? I remember covering. I remember attending all her press conferences. And of course, today she is the Minister for External Affairs.
Exactly. So here's the biggest example.
Yes, that's
I need not say anything.
So you also hope to become a minister one day?
I would love to.
There's Manish Tiwari again from NSUI in 1986. He was the national president from 89 to 93. And of course, he joined the Youth Congress in 98, remained till 2000. And he won. He lost the first Lok Sabha elections, but he won the next one. That is from Ludhiana in 2009, and of course became Union Information and Broadcasting Minister in the UPA regime. All right. So yeah, I was asking you about. Okay, of course we have Arun Jaitley also. Again, another ABVP. So you also plan to become a minister someday, and that is how you think you can make a difference?
You know, I don't need to become a big politician to make a difference. You know, I'm just 20 right now. So, you know, if I am making, a lot of change to my society, which, gets me happiness, that's what I want. You know, I like seeing people happy when they come up with some issues, and, we can solve them. So it gets a lot of happiness.
But how attached are you to the, when you look at politics today, it has stooped to levels, especially during election, the election speeches and some of the ruckus that happens inside the parliament. Do you feel unattached from all of that? Do you want to be a part of that at all? Or do you, as you just said, just want to keep working and feeling happy about it?
No, I would stick to what I said. I would love to keep working, and you never know about the future. All right. So yeah, I would love to keep working, and I would do the same till the end.
All right. Let me now bring across another young student leader. He's Brinder Dhillon. He joins us from Chandigarh, and he is the All India Coordinator of NSUI. Hello and welcome to the conversation, Brinder.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So tell us, how many years have you been in student politics?
It's almost 8 years till now.
Wow. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? An MLA?
What? Come again?
Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line, Brinder?
5 years down the line, probably moving into from the student politics into the more of a serious politics of youth politics, or probably graduating into the senior politics, from college life, from the campus, moving out to the society, to your locality, or even as now we are touring states, so probably getting a feel of that.
I was just asking, Kanika Shekhawat, who is in the studio, I was asking her, the way politics is today. I was asking her about those nasty election speeches. I was asking her about the ruckus that goes on inside the parliament or inside assemblies, people throwing mics at each other, and all of that. Do you feel unattached to that, or you said you want to be a part of that? So what do you think you will do that is different?
See, one thing you must remember, a politician or a leader is the reflection of the society, right? So it's the society, they're the elected leaders, so you cannot blame them, the people who are electing them. So instead of blaming the leaders, I think that we should more be focused on the society, so that we can get some good leaders in, rather than blaming all this and that. And the only reason is when there are some good student leaders who are educated, who have done their student politics. Otherwise, you usually see parachuting into the mainstream politics and dropping out of nowhere, and they are becoming politics. Just there are some even especially like in universities now, there are Lingdo commissions which are very good in way of getting out good student leaders.
Okay,
but
Brinder, sorry to interrupt you, but you have been a student in student politics for the past 8 years now, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you think these organizations, student organizations, do they still act as pressure groups for mainstream parties?
Yeah, see that's the basic difference, which has to be bridged back. The main politics has to go out of these campuses, right? Even whether it's Congress, whether it's BJP, whether it's anyone, we are part of Congress and we are proud of it. But there has to be less interference from the right, from the top to the bottom. It's campus politics. It is the politics of the students, and the students have to be more involved in the decision making, in everything. It has to be within the campuses.
All right.
When these pressure groups come out, so that's the main problem, which are at present the student politics is facing. Until and unless there's backing out of these main political parties from the campus and let the students govern their govern themselves, then only, you know, we can have some good student
So
leaders coming out.
more power to the youth is what you're saying. All right. Brinder, thank you so much. But very quickly, before we wrap up this segment, your message to the youth, your message to the young students of India and the way forward that you see for them. We are about to become the youngest nation by 2020.
See, the thing is, first of all, we must keep it out of mind that politics is not a dirty game. Unless we don't get into it, we don't have any rights to, you know, calling it from outside it's a dirty game. Get into it, clean up the system. We need more youth into politics.
Right.
We need more youth involvement in all this. It is a difficult thing. That's why usually we don't get in. But go get into it. Do something for your society. Do something for your nation. And politics is the best way of doing it.
All
So
right.
that's
All
what I
right.
want to say.
Brinder Dhillon, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Thank you so much for your inputs. Kanika, it was great having you too. We didn't spend too much time with you, but tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you studying really?
I just
Humanities.
graduated, yeah, from, I just did my political science honors from Miranda. And now I'm doing MA political science. It's my first year, just got through.
And you want to continue to be in student politics and continue to, so you haven't really seen how you will take this forward. Like Brinder seems to be very clear that he wants to get into mainstream politics. What do you want to really do besides helping the youth around you?
Yeah, see, that's not that clear, like you just said it. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So yeah, I want to go forward with it. I wouldn't deny that. But yeah, not quite like, you know, on the politics, what he wants to do. You know, there are many politicians who are just calm. They do a lot of things for the country. So I want to be amongst those people, like, you
more
know,
of social work?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Your message for the youth very quickly.
I would definitely say that I think youth should just speak up for themselves. It's high time. I think being quiet doesn't quite, you know, seem the thing for the youth. And it is only them who can change the country. And they are not, you know, the future of tomorrow. In fact, they are the citizens of today. That's what I would like to say.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brinder and Kanika, both of you. It was great having you. Two young student politicians who are set in their own way, in their own style, with their own ideologies. Remember, opposing ideologies here in the studio, but they are set to take the country forward and take the young people of the country forward along with them. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. Well, we just a while ago, we told you who the youth icons are of the youth, and now we also asked people who they hate, absolutely hate as youth icons, and this is what they had to say. Take a look.
According to you, who is the worst youth icon in today's generation?
Honey Singh.
Honey Singh.
Imran Hashmi. I mean, I don't look up to anyone, you know, I live the life I want to live.
I think Rahul Gandhi is a worst youth icon.
Worst youth icon would definitely be someone like Honey Singh.
Worst youth icon, Honey Singh, I think. He's spoiling the kids.
Shah Rukh Khan, I don't find that genuine.
Worst youth icon is Salman Khan.
Worst Rahul Gandhi. Ramya Vastavaya ka hero Girish Kumar.
Justin Bieber. I dislike that they do. Rascal.
All right, so we've had people saying Justin Bieber and all kinds of names. Imran Hashmi also, I think I heard there well. You lose some, you win some. You are hated, you are loved, but probably you are not ignored even if you are a youth icon. And now we are going to talk about, the fun aspect of being young, the fun aspect of being youthful. And who better than Sahil Bedi to tell us about that. Sahil Bedi is somebody who was a phenomenon on social media not too long ago, and he created this video wherein he went up to girls and told them that I'm going to write your name on a piece of paper, and if I am right, you will have to kiss me. And what he did, this young prankster sitting right next to me, what he did was he wrote your name, as in YOURNAME, on a piece of paper. So, he was kissed. How many girls kissed you, Sahil?
I think around 8 or 9.
8 or 9? That's
yeah,
not much.
I think 10. Because we tried on just 12 and we got 2 rejections.
Why did they reject you? A cute guy like you, why were you not kissed?
I think people are not so comfortable in kissing strangers in India as they are in the US.
Of course they are not.
But still, I think...
getting 10 girls to kiss you, of course, is an achievement.
But I think I still cleared that misconception that we have about Indian girls.
That is?
That they aren't so open because we've always had this misconception about them that they don't react to approaches really well. But I think I pretty much cleared it.
Okay. Okay, now this video, how did this idea come about?
I saw this video on YouTube, like it happened in the US. And when I first started, I was really, not
scared?
Yeah, I was scared. And I wasn't really sure about it, if it would be like achievable. So, and I was expecting quite a few bashing, but fortunately, it didn't happen, and yeah, I was quite successful.
So who were the girls? Who were the girls you targeted? Where were these girls? They were all in Delhi?
Yeah, in Gurgaon.
In Gurgaon.
Yeah.
But you see that sorry to say, you've not really represented the entire youth of the country, have you? You have represented a particular social strata who are open and who are willing to have fun and who are like, okay, what's the big deal? Yeah.
See, there's a thin line between being practical and being stupid. And if I like...
Okay, what did you think you did?
I think I was being practical as I approached girls who I thought would be open to it.
Yes.
Because obviously if
you were doing a profiling yourself. You were profiling them in your head before you approached them, right?
Yeah. Which isn't, I don't think if it's correct, but yeah, that's being smart, I guess.
So you were smart, which is why you got 10 kisses out of the 12 girls you approached, right?
Yeah.
All right. So tell us, what are you doing in life, basically? Are you a student?
Since I've got nothing better to do, I'm doing videos on YouTube and I've joined college.
Okay. What are you studying?
I'm studying English.
Where?
Venkateshwar College, Delhi University, which I don't think I'll be able to complete.
Why?
Because I've got plans. I'm planning to travel.
You don't think education is important?
You
don't think a degree is important?
It's very important, but when there are things which you have to give up on to achieve certain dreams. Even Sachin Tendulkar hasn't completed his graduation.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's why I think I'm going to travel. Because there aren't many Indian YouTubers which are famous outside. So I might make some videos around the world.
What kind of videos are you planning? Because you have done something. I mean, the reason why you became so popular, the video became viral, was you tried something different, which was funny, and it was you're looking at real young people and with real reactions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And real, the act of kissing, of course, is something that will draw crowds.
Yeah. See, when you see a title named "First Ever Kissing Prank in India," you're surely gonna click on it.
Definitely, you'll click on it.
Indian people and kisses, they go along pretty well.
No, but the mindset has changed, right? Initially, you remember in those Hindi films, they had those two flowers and all of that.
Yeah, it has to.
Now you do have a lot of
on-screen. Still, I've got a lot of criticism for this video, which I don't think, because it was just a peck on the cheek, nothing much. So, I mean, it was much, but yeah, still. So, I've got a lot of criticism for this.
Okay.
Like, it's got 1,000 dislikes. I have no clue why.
Haven't you got hate mails?
A lot of them.
Yeah, what were they like? What were they like?
They were quite explicit because apparently I am polluting the youth of the country.
So let's talk about that. What do you feel, being a young person yourself? What is your what are your thoughts?
I feel people who sent me hate messages were the ones who, I mean, they're hypocrites, to be honest, because we don't mind seeing people kissing in movies and on television, but when someone your age goes around and does stuff which you can't do, I think they're jealous.
Oh, so the 1,000 dislikes were basically people who were jealous of you, who girls don't kiss.
Maybe.
Okay, what are the kind of videos you're planning to do? You said you're going to go around the world making YouTube videos. What kind of videos? You're going to get French girls to kiss you?
Not really.
Okay,
but maybe representing India on a global level. Like people still have that misconception about Indians, but I think I'm on a road to erase that misconception. I'll probably make some feel-good videos, because there are comedy videos and there are serious videos, but there aren't many feel-good ones. Because I think I'm going to go on that track.
Don't you think there is a huge gap? I mean, the reason I asked you, you know, where did the girls come from? You know, the girls, you profile them, of course, but you went to a place where you have all these malls and you have a lot of educated women with a certain mindset coming there, and you know, but they might be free and open and they might think it's fun. But don't you think there's a huge gap to be bridged even in India?
There's a massive gap.
Right.
Because first of all, I feel education is an important part of this, to fill the gap.
Right.
Because if you're educated, you know there aren't many people who know what's right and what's wrong. So when you're educated, because most of the people in India, the only source of their education is from media, and I think certain aspects of media don't really create a positive mindset.
Right.
So I think education is a pretty important part of it to fill the gap.
All right. It was great having you, and thank you so much, and all the best in your endeavors. So, on this show, we've had people who are not so fortunate, people who have had economic problems after their class 12 and who have skilled themselves. We have just had young politicians talking about taking the country forward, and we had one mad person here who created a video on girls kissing him, and he plans to take a feel-good message about the youth to the world. So that was International Youth Day for us. India Post Live is celebrating youth, but then how can we have youth without, you know, the elders, the people of the previous generations talking about what they felt like as youngsters and what was the song in their heart when they were young. So we are going to play that for you now, but before that, thank you so much for joining the conversation, and all of you, please take a look at this particular video.
ये गाना मैं गा के दिखा रहा हूँ, ये मुझे यूथ में इंस्पायर करता था। मैं शायर तो नहीं मगर है हंसी, जब से देखा तुझको मुझको शायरी आ गई।
यूथ के लिए ये है, they should be sincere and they should work hard.
नौजवानों भारत की तकदीर बना दो, फूलों के इस गुलशन से कांटों को हटा दो।
भारत का युवक जो है इस समय गलत लाइन पर चल रहा है, उनको संभलना पड़ेगा ताकि भारत की जो छवि है उसको बनाए रखें।
तू कहाँ ये बता इस नशीली रात में, माने ना मेरा दिल दीवाना, अरे माने ना मेरा दिल।
जब तक जियो यंग बन के जियो, कुछ देश के लिए करके जाओ।
सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है। If you want to make India united, तो make the people to work for a common cause.